Hello, okay, back with our next back care routine. So let's get stuck in with the first move. So we're going to look at frog squats. So when we do our standard squats, we usually or normally stand with our feet at hip width for our standard squatting. However, for these frog squats, I'm going to stand a little bit closer together. I'm going to turn the feet, toes outwards, and I'm going to pick these heels up. And as I pick the heels up, I'm stood on the balls of the feet, and the knees go outwards. And I'm just going to drop down, keeping the heels up into this frog position. I'm going to keep my, try and stay nice and upright. You're not hunching forwards from the shoulders. Trying to stay nice and upright. And good little agility test, hips and groin. If that's tight in there, that can affect your back. So, you know, if you're even struggling to get into this position, you might want to revisit some of the earlier ones. I'm not going to do too much instructing today. We're just going to go through this routine. Online guys, you'll be ready for this. Just follow your online app there, your bespoke calendars. So we're going to do 5 in total. I'm going to stand up, tense the butt, push through from the hips. Good standing alignment. 1, 2. So from this angle, tensing the butt, pushing through. 4 points, good posture alignment. You can always revisit the alignments video, how to engage your core, all that kind of stuff if you're new here. 1 more. Frog squats. Okay, now next one, I'm going to walk out into a downward dog position. Again, quite challenging if you've never done it before. Key points, you know, you don't want to be doing more harm than good, so you don't want to be rounding that back, that lumbar. So again, you can revisit some of the tutorials, check out the playlists. But online guys, you'll know exactly what to do. So I'm opening the stance up a little bit, holding this downward dog position. Head down, easing the heels down, coccyx is going up, no rounding of that lower back. I'm going to position my hands so I can comfortably drop my hips forward without moving my hands. Eyes up to the sky, get the vertebrae in the neck. Back up, 1 and 2, keeping the knees off the floor, incorporating some strength into this routine now. Back up. So between 3 and 5. 1 more, downward dog, upward dog, prone cobra. Now I'm going to gently put the knees down. So yeah, looking up, get that vertebrae in the neck. You should feel a stretch in your back and your abs, but no pain. You should have no pain in any of these moves. That is a warning sign, so stop. I'm going to come all the way back now to my child's pose, which is bringing the butt, the glutes, back towards the heels. Now usually we drop the forehead down to the mat, so you can really feel these lats, this part of the back. Because again, extension, long period sat, hunched over, bringing us into extension, counterbalancing ours in flexion. So usually we drop the forehead to the mat, but I'm going to keep it just off because I want to get the upper back on this one. Back care routine. Breathe in, look up, just the eyes, and by keeping my head just off the mat, I can look down and look back towards the toes so I can get some movement in my neck. Breathe in, look up. Between 5 and 10 of each. Keeping that back still as you look up. You're going to feel the trapezes, this upper back, and also maybe a bit of the lats as well, depending on how tight you are. You know, if you've been doing a lot of exercise or a lot of work, sat down at your workstation, this will be beneficial for all. Help loosen you up, keep you agile, pain-free. Okay, so from there, I'm going to come to my hands and knees, and we are going to look at getting a bit of rotation in our torso. So I'm going to get a palm up, and we've looked at this one previously. As I say, this one's a little bit more challenging. Going to get the ear and shoulder to the mat. So if you're struggling for these, revisit some of those earlier ones. And from there, now I'm going to drive back with the elbow. Again, you can do between 3 and 5, dropping down. This is our progression. First one is just finding this stretch, and we've looked at the straight arm. Now we're looking at the bent arm, which gets more upper back, hitting that office hunch area, and then palm up. So this right one is in line with my shoulder, palm up, getting the ear and shoulder to the mat, and then I pick up this right elbow. I'm just driving it back, 1, 2. I'm going to do 3 today for the purposes of this video. But listen to your body. You know, if you've got time and or you're tight, spend a little bit longer on it. Okay, now from there, we're going to look at the slow bird dog. So the bird dog is a plank, which again, all of these get into this area, this thoracic area, the office hunch. So elongating, stretching that out, bringing ourselves into extension. So the bird dog is a plank variation, which is opposite arm and leg, which really hits that office hunch. So we want a horizontal line, we don't want the leg moving up and down. So we do some planks where we hold it, but this is going to be a mover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this left knee up off the floor. I'm going to engage my core, stability, strength, stability and mobility, 3 key elements for pain-free movement. So I'm picking this left knee up and this right arm is tucked in, and I'm just going to straighten it out very slowly, pushing through the toes, squeezing my butt, pushing through the fingers, and I pull it back in, nice and controlled, keeping the knee off the floor, bit of stability work. I'm going to go for 3, so from this angle, looking along, push through the fingers, through the toes, squeeze your butt, horizontal line, and then swap sides. Pick up the right knee, left arm, push through, and you're going to look along as you straighten out. Look along from this angle, just so you can see the arm as well. So between 3 and 5. Now the next one is we're going to look at the back extension from previous. So again, we just talked about that. This is flexion, hunched over, thoracic vertebrae, office hump. So we want to come into extension, and that's what the back extension is. We lie on our front and we just do back extension, raise up, eyes to the sky, get the vertebrae in the neck, the chicken neck. So this one, just adding that rotation. So as I raise, I pick up the right shoulder, drop the left, pick up the left, drop the right. And it's all from the rib cage. Any rotation from the thoracic vertebrae, rib cage. You let the lower back follow. You're never twisting from that lower back rib cage. So as I come up, all about this upper back, these lats, and that will help counterbalance that tightness. So it looks like this from the floor. This is your back extension. Eyes up, eyes up. This is the rotating one. Up, pick up the right shoulder, looking up. Drop the left, pick up the left, drop the right. Again, you can rest if you need to. Keep a little bit of resistance, bit of strength there. So alternate 6 for each side, or 10, depending on how tight it is. So the next move we are looking at is for the thighs. So I'm going to roll on my side for this one. So these kind of flow, just trying to stay in shot. So I've done my back extension rotations. I roll onto my side, tuck the knees in like a right angle to isolate this upper body. So what I'm going to do is the right arm is out, left hand across, my head is on the mat, and I'm just bringing this left one back across, bringing this into extension, really isolates this upper body, don't force it. 1, I'm going to do 3, could go a little bit further each time, but don't force it. Want any pain, pain is a warning sign to stop. So on the next 3, I'm going to follow it with my eyes. I'm going to move my head as well. Follow it, head still on the mat, but I'm just following it. And then back, 3 of each. 3 without head movement, 3 with. Oh yeah. And now I'm on my side, I'm just going to do a bit of thigh as well. So the knees are bent, so it's easy for me to grip this ankle. And I'm just going to ease this left one back and forth. Find your biting point. Now as you come back, you may want to bring your torso forward. So as you ease the thigh back, pull the shoulders back into extension. And you feel your thigh and hip. About 8 to 10 of each, or 5 to 10. Depending on how tight it is. And all I'm going to do is roll over onto the other side. So I'll just show you from a different angle now. Tucking it in, head on the mat, 1. So you want to keep this arm in line with the shoulders to really get the benefit. Feels great. Number 3. and then we'll add the head movement. Follow it with the eyes. Coming back. And one more. Great job. And then we'll get onto the thigh stretch, ease it back. So from this angle, you know, as you're bringing it back, you may want to bring your upper body forward. So you're just trying to ease the shoulders and chest back as you ease this thigh back. And then we're going on to lying on our back. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bend the left leg. I'm going to bring the left foot over the right knee. So from this angle. So the left one is vertical now. I'm gripping this left knee with right hand, keeping shoulders on the mat, and I'm just pulling, or easing is the best word. You don't want to easing this this left knee down to the right. And you'll feel all piriformis, the glute, hip, bit of this back here. So from this angle, crossing it over, gripping, and you're just easing it down, but you want to try and keep this shoulder on the mat. So the key isn't to try and get the knee to the floor and pick this up. The key is keeping both shoulders on there. We're keeping this left shoulder on the mat, reaching with the right hand and easing it down. Get your biting point. Little extra stretch now. Big breath in, exhale, and then just pull down, ease it down a little bit more. And as I ease down, the right hand down, I'm going to look to the left. This is where you should be feeling your stretch. Brilliant. And I'm going to swap sides. So now the left one is straight, bend the right one, right foot over the left knee, reaching for the right knee with left hand, keeping the right shoulder on the mat, and just gently easing without picking up this shoulder, keeping this shoulder firmly on the mat, and it's all around the glute, hip, and this part of the back here. And on that extra stretch, I'm going to bring this left hand down, more to the right as I look to my right. So from this angle, right over left, left hand on right knee, easing the left hand down to the left, keeping the right shoulder on the mat as you ease down. Extra stretches, looking to the right. All in this area here, piriformis, outside of the glute, hips. Another one that could cause a lot of issues with the back there. Brilliant. And then our final one is the dorsal raise. So I'm just going to roll over onto my front again. And the dorsal raise is similar to the back extension, but the legs come to as well. So you want to try and keep the legs straight. You're not bending the knees. And as you raise up, so as opposed to just back extension, this one is back extension with legs. Dorsal raise. And if you keep your hands and feet off the floor, you get a bit of resistance there, but if you need to rest, you can. Gently use the hips to the floor, don't force it. Eyes up, gently push the hips down. Between 5 and 10. And there you have it. There is today's back care routine. So give that one a go, and I shall see you on the next one.